Let's talk about all the horror movies coming in May.
What's your favorite scary movie? Amen.
We'll tear your soul apart.
Well, I'm Pennywise the Dancing now.
Oh, blood on the beast!
God, don't do that.
But sometimes, death is better.
Hey everybody, what's up? KillJoy Jake here, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. Today we're talking about all the horror movies or TV shows coming in May that I'm excited for and will be covering. Before I get into that though, I'm gonna need y'all to like this video and subscribe if you're new here. I would greatly appreciate that. So getting into this, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness comes out May 6th, this week pretty much, and we are getting what is essentially Marvel's first horror movie. Now, that's kind of loosely how it was described. It is a PG-13 film. I'm not expecting too much of a horror element from it, but I still kind of want to cover it because that sounds interesting to me. It's also being directed by horror legend Sam Raimi, and kind of his return to superhero movies, his last outing in that, of course, being Spider-Man 3. So I'm very excited to see what he does with the Doctor Strange universe. He replaced Scott Derrickson, who did the first one, and I think Scott did an amazing job on Doctor Strange, like that first one. I think it's a super underrated Marvel movie, and I'm very excited to see what Sam Raimi brings to the table with this new installment. Another thing I'll say is I'm not going to talk about the trailer. I'm not going to talk about a lot of the spoilers that have been going around. There's something that is out there that I'm just not going to look into because apparently it spoils something from the movie. So if I were you, I would avoid any and all spoilers. Don't go on Twitter. Don't try to talk about this movie online with other people because it seems like a lot of people are throwing some spoilers around there. And this is a no spoiler page. We don't get into spoilers. I don't report on leaks here. I just report on like what the world wants us to know, what these companies want us to know about their films before they actually come out. No leaks! Then next week on May 13th, we have the Firestarter remake, coming from director Keith Thomas and written by Scott Teems from Halloween and Halloween Kills. This is really exciting. I'm pretty pumped for this. I think it's kind of weird with the casting decisions, although I will say Zac Efron playing the dad, he was kind of described as being like mildly attractive, so I think Zac Efron's not the worst choice, just a weird choice. We don't really usually see him in horror movies. So I'm excited to see what he brings to the table. Hopefully it's a great performance. I've seen him in a lot of comedies that I really cared for, like he's very funny in like that Baywatch remake. He's also in this movie with Robert De Niro where like De Niro's like this crazy old grandpa and he's like trying to take care of him. That movie was also very funny. I also think Ryan Kira Armstrong is perfectly casted as Charlie. She looks just like Drew Barrymore did in that original film, so I'm very excited to see this. I think it's going to be good. Another thing that I'm pumped for is that John and Cody Carpenter, as well as Daniel Davies, are doing the music for this, which is really interesting. John Carpenter's return to a Stephen King movie. That's sweet. I'll take it. The only thing I'm not super pumped for with this is from the trailer, we got a lot of really cheesy dialogue and really cheesy moments that feel like they don't really fit into this. I'd almost want a more serious and dark version of it opposed to the 1984 movie, which, yes, is dark and very serious, but it seems like we're kind of going in like a cheesy B-movie vibe with this. I can see it. I can see it. I guess it all depends on execution. Like let me see it first, and I'll tell you if that works or not. But it seems kind of like a weird choice in a tonal sense. Then later in this month, we have Men, the third feature from director Alex Garland. I'm very pumped for this. It comes out May 20th. Alex Garland has done nothing but impress me so far with his first film, Ex Machina, and then his latest one, Annihilation. I was really impressed by both films for totally different reasons. Annihilation is this crazy like fever dream movie that's like super sci-fi, super out there, especially that third act is like, what the hell's going on? I'm scared, but I don't know what I'm seeing. So Annihilation was awesome. I actually think I like Ex Machina just a little more. It's a much more focused and concentrated story that is just focuses on a couple of characters, and it's really scary and just really well done overall. Ex Machina is my favorite thing from him, and he's once again teaming up with A24 to produce this new film called Men, which is being described as visceral as hell, an intense, surrealist twist on the final girl trope, and will make people angry. So from all of this, I guess the only concern I have about the film is that maybe it's a little too preachy and in your face with a film called Men, and from the trailer I can kind of tell it's going to be like a commentary on like the sexes and how we both interact with each other, I'm assuming. I just hope it's not too in your face. If it forgets to be a horror movie at the end of the day and it's just Alex Garland getting up on his soapbox, even if I agree with the message, it's just gonna feel like I came here for a horror movie and I didn't get scared. I've seen a lot of movies like this recently, unfortunately, and I hope that's not the case here. With how highly people are talking about it, I'm sure that's not going to be a case, but with any movie like this, it is something to like express concern about. I think it's gonna be yet again another banger from Mr. Garland. And then maybe the thing I'm the most excited for this month is Stranger Things Season 4 Volume 1, which comes out on May 27th to Netflix. Now, there's been a lot of whack news recently with Stranger Things Season 4. We just found out that every single episode cost a minimum of $30 million, which is completely insane. That's more than the last season of Game of Thrones, which that was like record breaking at the time. Now we have this, where it's like 30 million per episode. Holy shit, that's a lot of money. That's insane. I'm sure a lot of that money is going towards your child stars who have become way bigger stars since season 1. I mean, you know, they weren't making this much money in season 1, definitely not. Now that they become bigger stars, they probably upped their contracts a bit, and it's probably also going to definitely make that money back because of how popular this show is. And there's of course this stigma when actors start to get paid more for something that, like, essentially doing the same thing that they did in the past season. Now they're getting paid way more for that. Do they have the same approach to Stranger Things Season 4 that everyone had in Stranger Things seasons like 1 through 3? I think they're fantastic. I love those 3 seasons, but there is a place to express concern about that, where it's like, oh, they're being given all this money. Are they just going to phone it in, or are they actually going to take the time, give great performances, give us another awesome season of the show? I hope so. I really hope that's the case. It is definitely a thing I'm concerned about, though. This just goes with any show. It's not specifically this one, but any show where it's like everyone's getting paid a lot of money. Do they put a lot of effort into it, or do they kind of just like say, hey, you know, I'm already paid, let's just phone it in. Let's just make this thing. Let's make it happen, you know? I hope that's not the case here. I hope they actually did give us something badass with this new season. I'm highly looking forward to it. I think it's going to be absolutely incredible. We also have the addition of Robert Englund with this season, so even if you're not super into Stranger Things, it appears like Robert Englund may be playing the new antagonist. And because of that, that's one of the reasons I'm super excited to it. I guess I didn't make this super clear in my last Stranger Things update. I don't think that he's going to be playing Freddy Krueger, but I think he's going to be playing the character of Vecna, who is obviously very similar to Freddy Krueger. I mean, we see multiple shots in that latest trailer where it looks like he's got a Freddy glove. Not exactly, but it looks like he's got little like spiked fingers, very similar to Freddy Krueger's hand, where like he has all the knife fingers like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if the character of Vecna is played by Robert Englund and is some kind of reference to Freddy Krueger, not exactly Freddy. We get the first volume of that on May 27th and the rest of it July 1st. So I'm very excited for this new season. I love Stranger Things. I think it's so much more than just like the overhyped Netflix show that everyone preaches about online. It's actually a really good show. I think season 2 dips a little towards the end for sure, but besides that, it's all very well written. Season 3 has been my favorite season so far, and I expect nothing less from season 4. So what are you guys the most excited for out of all 4 of these things I just talked about? Leave me something about it in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching this new update video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more horror content. Also, if you can, support me on Patreon or my channel membership. Just hit that join button on my YouTube page and bam, you're a channel member. If you support me at the Ghostface tier, you get an extra video every single week. This week, I'm reviewing the movie Superhost on Shudder. I'm very excited for that video. It's gonna be a banger. Also, if you want to support me at some of the other higher tiers, you get to see updates on my movie that we're working on, Red Right Hand. It's a Scream fan film. I'm very excited for it. It's gonna be badass. That comes out in December. There's also a bunch of other goodies if you support me at some of the higher tiers as well, so make sure to check that out. Thank you all again for watching this video, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.